So, I'm working here on the Google Pixel 3a XL. I know, I promised a repair video on the Nord 20, but that's done. Sorry. Um, Went from like broken to fixed screen. But yeah, so I'm working here with the Pixel 3a XL. And I have to say, Google, in this case, is run by a bunch of idiots. Let me explain. In most phones, when you have to repair things, you have to work through the system. First, you take off the back, then you work through the back frame, you work through the components, the battery, unscrewing things. Then you can work your way into like charging ports and eventually the most delicate part, this part up front, the screen. Google, however, has had the brilliant idea of making an entry point for this, the screen. So I literally have to pry off this screen first, which is the most arduous task and the easiest one to screw up. And if you screw it up, that's at least $100 on tap. In most cases, because if you go to repair shops and you think, oh yeah, well it only cost me about $100 plus fine, that's because he charged you parts or he charged you close to what he paid for the part. This screen is the most expensive part of this, so Google expects people who repair these things to pry this off first, the most delicate part, then go through a front frame by unscrewing it. And it's just completely backwards. I can understand making a tighter model, and there are ways to do that where the gaps are closer. However, and the Nord N20 is not a good example of it. I mean, it's a good example still of well construction, but I guess the point I'm trying to get at right here is this is the worst way to do it. And it guarantees that people who need to replace their battery or the charging port or any innocuous component out of like necessity and out of warranty will have to possibly screw up their phone worse off than what it already is. And again, I say this because the screen is it's practically the most delicate part of this phone construction. And getting it wrong, you don't even want to think about it. Like I said, at least a good, I'd say even if you get on discount, what, $60 to $70, up to $100 if you have to pay a full price. Not the cheapest part, and it's the easiest to fuck up. Google would much better off with a removable back instead. This is ludicrous. I just needed to share that because it absolutely stupefies me how someone can think of this. It's like, do you honestly think no one's going to go into the phone? Even under warranty, there are people who do this as whole careers. Seriously, they do nothing but tear down phones on YouTube. And yeah, I really have no comment. The worst way Google could have made this. And I hope they're not making their current phones like this because this is ludicrous.